We come in literally in the middle of the night, take the covers off the bed, and we pull him and his wife out of the bed in the middle of the night in their pajamas. She's got a black eye. Just punch his wife for good measure. Like a fucking bitch.
I don't know, maybe if you're like Tim Pool and you drink Rockstar Energy or Monster Energy all day and you watch anime and probably like beat your girlfriend or something and you're on Reddit 24/7, maybe you'd think that this is like really hilarious. I don't know. PSYOP, Nat Rothschild, Benjamin Netanyahu, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, Citibank, City of London, Chase Manhattan, all supporting the operation in Venezuela, all want to send young men to go die in Venezuela, all telling you to buy the Kash Patel goy slop about Charlie Kirk. It's over, bro. Go back to the catboy dates. Your days of politics, generational run, it's over. You're gonna be a kick streamer playing video games and going on catboy dates, defending pedo Indian Ali Alexander once more. It is over, bro. Give it a rest. The most beautiful part of this new year is that everyone is waking up to the NICK Fuentes psyop, the Fed slop, NICK Fuentes, Ben Shapiro, AI talking point Hasbara slop that's being fed to you by Ben Shapiro. Just to put it in perspective for you all, I mean, here is an image of the people who support regime change and support Trump's operation in Venezuela versus those who oppose it. On the left, you got the supporters, right? You got Trump, you got Epstein, you got, what is this guy's name again? That British Mossad agent. You've got Zionist cousin of Netanyahu, Javier Milei. You've got, who else you got here? You got Laura Loomer. You got Matt Walsh. You got Ben Shapiro, of course. You've got all of these fine figures. You've got NICK Fuentes, of course, over there as well, because he supports the whole thing. And then on the right, you have the coalition of salvation, of the free, of the based. You've got George Galloway, you've got Sneeko, you've got Thomas Massey, you got Jake Shields, Max Blumenthal, Kim Jong-un. You got myself, of course. You got Chairman Haz al-Din. You've got everyone else. So anyways, yeah, this was incredible. So last night, NICK Fuentes did a stream talking about his stance on Venezuela. And I didn't really know what these videos were going to be like because I saw a video pop up saying something about Nick in Venezuela. And I'm like, oh, did he flip-flop again? Because he's gone back and forth between whether war on Venezuela is good or bad. And he's flip-flopped like 100 times, you know. So I didn't really know what we were going to get. And now we have something absolutely incredible. So he has doubled, tripled, quadrupled down after flip-flopping just as many times on the question of Venezuela regarding his support for regime change, I guess, in Venezuela. Keep in mind, it was just announced moments ago that U.S. taxpayers are going to be paying $83 billion to build Venezuela's oil infrastructure to benefit oil companies and Israeli billionaires. This number will increase. All right, so U.S. taxpayers are going to subsidize $83 billion worth of investment into Venezuela's oil industry. But keep in mind, you're not going to get cheaper gas. You're not going to get cheaper anything. Your standard of living is not going to improve because what's the track record here? When we went into Iraq, invaded Iraq, everyone says we did it for the oil. Iraq's pre-war oil production was 1.2 million barrels per day. Today, it stands at about 1.4 million barrels per day. And a lot of that, the vast majority of that is Iraqi production. It's not U.S. production. So the U.S. didn't like dramatically increase oil production capabilities in Iraq. We didn't get cheap energy after Iraq. We spent trillions of dollars on Iraq, but the one thing we didn't get is cheap oil, cheap gas, okay? Syria, well, now we have a U.S. ally in Syria, but Syria today is producing far less oil than pre-war Syria was. I think it's like, before the war was like 90,000 barrels per day. Now it's down to like 20,000, something to that effect. Afghanistan, I don't even know why people would say Afghanistan. Afghanistan was not about oil. They don't produce oil. Libya also has I think it's a slight decrease in oil production. So Libya went from like 400,000 BPD to 200,000. All right. So this is not about giving you cheap energy. It's not about giving you cheap oil. I mean, recent history, we can look to any of these countries to simply prove that basic fact. What this is about is major hedge funds, BlackRock, Bank of America, these major financial institutions, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, right? They're all going to go in, Chase Bank, they're all going to go in. They're going to chop, they want to, I don't know if they will, they want to chop up the Venezuelan state assets in the hands of the Venezuelan state and, by default, the Venezuelan people. They want to chop all of these assets up into a million pieces. They want to strip all of the assets dry, sell them for pieces, and make billions of dollars. That's what they did in Iraq. That's what they're doing in Syria. The first thing that happened when Assad was overthrown in Syria and that Jolani took power, he said, oh, by the way, here's my formal declaration. We are now going to privatize everything in Syria, all the state assets. Jolani's father actually condemned him for that. Jolani's own father said, that's disgusting. I spit on this. This is disgusting. Taking the people's assets and selling them off to global capital, right? BlackRock and the Rothschilds. That's what's going to happen here. So this is not about giving you cheap energy, okay? And you are going to finance the operation to do all of this. So that's what's going to happen. All of the private military contractors that they want to send in so they can protect the oil executives to go and visit and oversee the stripping away of these assets. You're going to pay for all of that. That's what the taxpayer is going to pay for. Okay. So here's what Nick's thoughts are on this. Let's take a look and break it down.
It's a movement for right-wing Americans that want America to have primacy over the entire planet. As much power, as much abundance, as many resources as possible. So if you're coming around with this nonsense about they stole the oil, that's not moral. They intervened in another country. You violated their sovereignty. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. We do it all the time, and we've done it for centuries.
He's doing this like weird voice now because he understands his audience is woken up to the psyop. So what he's doing is the voice that Alex Jones did when Owen Schroyer left the InfoWars show, and Alex Jones went out and did that like crazy rant where he was yelling and screaming about Owen Schroyer being a traitor, but everyone could see it was like fake, So now Nick is doing that fake scream voice because everyone understands that as the U.S. empire continues to expand its reach, Venezuela, Iran, wherever it goes next, right? We are not getting stronger. We are not getting richer. Our standard of living is not improving. The only people who have a better life by the U.S. empire expanding as our country falls apart, our infrastructure sits dilapidated, are the billionaires. It's finance capital. It's Wall Street. It's City of London. It's the hedge funds. It's BlackRock. It's the Rothschilds. That's why Nick and the Rothschild, Nat Rothschild and Netanyahu all agree on this. I can't think of how anyone would benefit from the Venezuela operation unless you are a Fed, unless you are some you sit at the top or you're a shareholder of some top, oil conglomerate, some multinational corporation that strips state assets apart and makes billions of dollars off them. If you're BlackRock, if you're HSBC, if you're Wells Fargo, I don't know, Citibank. If you're one of those people, I fully understand, right? If you're the Rothschilds, I fully understand. This is in your interests, but it's just not in our interests.
It's called Manifest Destiny. It's called the Mexican-American War, the Spanish-American War, the Bay of Pigs. We do it all the time.
It's not hitting. No one, it's so fake now. He saw his whole audience turn on him and ratio him on every single Telegram post. You see how fake it is, but he's being forced to say it. It's just like, it's so forced, you can tell.
To have uncontested, undisputed dominance, military, commercial, naval, every way, shape, and form. And we will take what we are entitled to.
Yeah, Palantir's going to take what we're entitled to, and Palantir's going to get those W's, and Americans are going to fund it all. We're going to subsidize it all.
We will take what makes us safer, richer, more
How does it make us safer, richer, anything like that? Venezuela is the country with the lowest suicide rates in all of Latin America. Even Donald Trump in his last election cycle, he was saying that Caracas is a safer city than any major American city. How does that make us safer? We're going to destabilize a country. We're maybe going to invade it. We're going to send private military contractors in there. We're going to blow it up with more Delta Force operations. Are we going to occupy it? Or are we going to just strip it of its assets and make the people even poorer after decades of sanctions and economic targeting and hybrid warfare and coup attempts and regime change attempts and invasion attempts? I mean, what is the grand idea here? And then what?
D-Mafia gets richer when the poor taste fascism.
Yeah, and then what? We're going to have millions of migrants flowing up to the southern border. How does that make anything better?
prosperous. We will take what we want. Nobody can stop us, and we'll do it again. And I hope we do. And I hope we do it in Greenland, and I hope we do it in Panama.
Is Nick Fuentes' dad like a shareholder of some like Rothschild bank or something? Like, what is he talking about? We're gonna get richer. We're gonna take everything. What is he talking about? What is he talking about here? Who's getting richer, Nick? Because the UK, Dutch Petroleum, majority UK ownership at the time, they used to control Venezuelan oil. And guess what? The standard of living of the British people didn't magically, jump to skyrocketing heights at that point in time. Oil companies benefited a lot, but they didn't get like magically rich overnight. That's not how the world works.
Panama, and I hope we do it in Cuba. I hope we do it everywhere where it makes sense for us. You got a problem with that? I don't know. Go back to fucking Pakistan. Go back to some other country and complain about it on the internet. Invented by America. So anyway, I don't know if I want to hear the comments. Botted the dislikes on Telegram award.
Oh, they're botted, you guys. Everyone, they're botted. Ignore Nick's fake outraged voice. They're just totally botted. And even though, the best part of all was Nick literally posted, I'm taking a vacation. I'm taking a break from streaming. And he said, I won't be streaming for the rest of the week or something. That post got a bunch of likes when he said, I'm not streaming. And then because no one wants to see it when he's just putting out goy slop like this. And then every single post thereafter where he said, I support the kidnapping of Maduro. We're going to get so rich. All of those got dislikes. So clearly it was not a dislike bot farm or something. I don't think that that's what the Venezuelans are concerned about right now. I don't think the number one concern of the Venezuelan deep state, if there is one, is to put a bot farm on Nick Fuentes' Telegram account. I think they maybe have some bigger fish to fry. But claims it's just a state of denial. He can't believe the fact that people don't want another war and that we understand we're not going to get rich off this.
Pakistanis botted the dislikes on Telegram. It means nothing.
Who is we? Only feds? Self-admission.
Yeah, then he's talking about going into Cuba, Panama, Colombia, wherever he mentioned, he wants to turn every single country in the Americas into some sort of U.S.-Israeli vassal state that joins Zionist President Javier Milei of Argentina, cousin of Netanyahu. His real last name, Javier Milei, is Milikowski. He's actually a cousin of Netanyahu. They have their Abraham Accords of Latin America called the Isaac Accords. They want every country to join the Isaac Accords, to have good, friendly relations with Israel, establish, embassies in Jerusalem, and this, that, and the third, put IDF military assets in their countries. It's just what are we doing here? Who benefits? Nick's not even part Venezuelan. He's 25% Mexican. If he was, some Venezuelan exile, maybe I'd understand, but he's 25% Mexican, not 25% Venezuelan. And, I've never understood him to have any sort of affinity for Venezuelan exiles. So these rich Venezuelan exiles, these liberals and Trotskyites and neocons that live in Doral, Florida. I do know he has a particular affinity for Indian pedophiles like his good friend Ali Alexander that he defends, right? Never forget that he defends Alexander, the pedo molester who was sexting with a bunch of young boys. But I didn't know that he cared that much about like Venezuelan exiles.
We could kidnap your leader too, if it was necessary. Anyway, so are you part of Delta Force? Are you part of U.S. Special Forces? Is this all one big psyop? I'm beginning to believe that's the case. I really am. People are saying this is a Catholic country. Okay, nominally, but it's a socialist country.
It is a Catholic country. What do you mean nominally? Everyone there is practically Catholic. Okay, there's like 2 million Arabs, mostly Lebanese guys, but it is literally a Catholic country.
It's built on this people's revolution. It's a bunch of corrupt gangsters. The country literally runs on drug trafficking, kidnapping.
So he's just giving you like Pam Bondi, Pam Bondi more concerned about the fictitious drug trafficking from Venezuela than the Epstein files. But by the way, the Justice Department just dropped the Cartel de Solos allegations that President Maduro was the head of some cartel. They dropped that from the indictment. They removed it. They released a revised indictment against President Maduro, and they removed everything about him being at the head of some Cartel de Solos. So he's just giving you Fed slop shit.
Selling what little oil they can even get out of the ground.
Nick, why it's not about what oil they can get out of the ground. Again, he just doesn't know anything about what's going on. Getting the oil out of the ground is not the tough part. That's not the problem. It's the refining that's the problem for them, because they have high sulfur content oil and they need diluents to actually be able to sell the oil on international markets in a meaningful way. And they were sanctioned into oblivion. They had no way to obtain these diluents for the oil. And the man who was trying to lead the effort to evade sanctions and get these diluents and establish deals with Iran and Turkey and other countries, Alex Saab, he was literally arrested at not just gunpoint, but gunpoint of the U.S. Navy, who threatened to invade Cape Verde if Cape Verde didn't extradite him to the United States, as he was trying to get these precious materials to Venezuela for the oil industry, for those that were hungry, amid the U.S. sanction regime, maximum pressure sanction regime imposed by Trump in 2019 at the behest of John Bolton and Mike Pompeo, also staunch Zionists.
It's literally run by brown, criminal, socialist gangsters. And
why does he have this, he has this obsession with brown people? 25% Mexican. I mean, I know he doesn't look it, but it just objectively is true. He is part brown. I have nothing against that, but he is part brown.
This pissant
and he defends Ali Alexander, the pedo, who's also brown.
Guy is on TV. I'm talking about Maduro, is saying, come and get me. Come and get me. Oh, you're a coward. You'll never do it. Knock, knock. United States of America, bitch. We come in literally in the middle of the night, take the covers off the bed, and we pull him and his wife out of the bed in the middle of the night in their pajamas. She's got a black eye. Just punch his wife for good measure. Like a fucking bitch.
I don't know. Maybe if you're like Tim Pool and you drink Rockstar Energy or Monster Energy all day and you watch anime and probably like beat your girlfriend or something and you're on Reddit 24/7, maybe you'd think that this is like really hilarious. I don't know. If I ever am like championing, just stupid shit like this from U.S. Special Forces Delta operation, just call it for what it is. Call it a psyop. Unsubscribe from my channel. It's just really as simple as that. I'm cheerleading. So if I'm ever cheerleading some Rothschild, Netanyahu sponsored takeover of the state oil assets to strip them for pieces and make money for global finance capital, and I'm lying to you, telling you that you're going to get rich off of this, just unsubscribe. Let me wither away into the darkness, and just leave it at that, okay?
Load him up on the helicopter, deliver him to the emperor in a sack, delivered to Guantanamo Bay and then the Imperial City in a fucking bag for the president of the United States. Kicked, falls out of the bag, looks up. Yeah, that's the president of the world, bro.
Again, this whole thing sounds like really cool. George Bush, mission accomplished 6 weeks after invading Iraq. If the U.S. wants to do fair business with Venezuela, as the Venezuelans have been very open to doing for years now, They've been allowing Chevron to operate there. They said, I wish Chevron would have 100-year leases to operate in the country. I wish Trump would give them exemptions that long. That's what Maduro said. Then, you know, that's all fine and well. If they just say, we just want a Maduro and now we're going to act like normal human beings, country to country relations, okay. But if they do go in and invade and occupy or send in private military contractors in and, you know, the U.S. body bags of soldiers or PMC start coming home, black bagged, you know, just remember this. This is Nick Fuentes' George Bush mission accomplished moment. Shouldn't have been there at all in the first place. But this is that moment. He's that guy right now. He is that guy. George Bush Jr. And it's like, you know, this whole thing, he's got this fascination with saying that America needs to be the global empire.
So I know that's a little LARPy. I know, you know, maybe people...
No, it's not LARPy. It's just stupid. Everyone sees that as fake. So he's got this like obsession with China, right? And saying like, oh, we need to combat China or something like that. Literally sounds like Mike Pompeo. But how has China achieved what they've achieved? Just think about it for a second. China has achieved the I guess, total domination of global shipping, of being the top import-export trade partner of more countries than anyone else on the face of the earth. And they did that with one foreign military base, one or two foreign military bases. I think they have like one in Djibouti or something next to the Red Sea, next to Yemen and Somalia. They did that without launching a single war. They did that without overthrowing a single government. They did that just through win-win cooperation, proper investment in countries. You know, China, when they invest in a country, they actually build infrastructure and they don't have 10 million strings attached, unlike the United States, who says, well, we'll give you way less money than China. And if we give you the money, you have to become our foreign policy vassal. And if a Democrat is in charge when they do this, or previous Republican administrations, they say, not only do you have to become our foreign policy or geopolitical vassal, you also are going to have to adhere to all of our LGBTQ cultural policies, feminist policies, and stuff like that. So that's effectively what the U.S. has tried to do. It hasn't worked so well. China has won. Maybe the idea should be, let's emulate China's success. Let's beat them at the game that they are leading in right now. And we used to embody as a nation a long time ago. You know, you look at Abraham Lincoln's economic advisor, Henry Carey. That's a guy that embodied that sort of mindset and thinking. And well, let's abandon the policy of, you know, global empire that has given us nothing but L after L after L. Tons of Americans in black body bags headed back home. And, you know, I guess the loss of global relations and trade to China, who's tried a completely different approach and has won. How about that? It's really that simple. Everyone says, oh, Jackson, what do you want for the future of America? Kind of just that. I mean, I think it's actually pretty simple. I think that my entire life, the foreign policy agenda has proven to be a failure. China has won. And I think we need to respect the Constitution. I think we need free speech. We need right to bear arms. But in terms of how we posture ourselves across the world and to other nations, I think that we should just beat China at their own game. And frankly, we shouldn't even try to go to, you know, any sort of antagonism with China, create that. We should just also do the same thing with China. You know, like, let's do win-win cooperation with China. Why do we need to send young boys to go die in Taiwan? So I'm declaring a generational run over. I mean, he's literally like posting about me now. I have a YouTube channel I launched like 2 months ago with no subscribers, no viewers. And apparently in the midst of his generational run, he's tweeting about me or posting about me. That doesn't sound like a generational run. That sounds like you fell off. If you're getting into spats with me at this point, sounds like you fell off, buddy. The generational run is over. Nick Fuentes, PSYOP, Nat Rothschild, Benjamin Netanyahu, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, Citibank, City of London, Chase Manhattan, all supporting the operation in Venezuela, all want to send young men to go die in Venezuela, all telling you to buy the Kosh Patel goy slop about Charlie Kirk. It's over, bro. Go back to the catboy dates. Your days of politics, generational run, it's over. You're gonna be a kick streamer playing video games and going on catboy dates, defending pedo Indian Ali Alexander once more. It is over, bro. Give it a rest. That's it. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.